Hello, guys. What is up? Moses here, and today I'd like to give you another monk video. Today it's all about the healer. I know. Oh, I don't have a weapon. Okay, I do have a weapon, obviously. So I know healer's been out for quite some time, but I personally just got in the healer monk just maybe a week ago. I really got into the monk like about a week ago, and I thought I'd make a video highlighting what I've been doing with the healer monk and what items I choose and what build I use to run it. So you guys all know the meta. Four man groups right now, at least until season 5 or the next patch will hit. This is the experience runs meta. Everybody's all about experience runs, and the monk have very important roles in that meta. Since it's a four-man group, usually people run with one monk DPS, one monk healer, um, one support barbarian, and one crusader to proc the DPS static charge monk. So one of these roles, the easiest way to get good experience is to make a support character. And I'm not into flashy DPS monk right now because my Paragon is pretty low. And because I don't have the gear for DPS monk, and this is the meta, so you kind of have to play static charge monk if you want to play DPS, because otherwise nobody else will play with you. It's very simple. You cannot have, at least for high level grifting, you cannot have a Hammer of the Ancient Barb doing 78 experience runs. It's just nobody will play with you. It will take you forever to complete the run. It's all about static charge, and this is the meta. So if you want to run experience, you just kind of have to do what needs to be done. So I chose Healing Monk. Why? Because it's pretty easy to gear up. I pretty much had a few of the parts already, and you never die because you have infinite life regen per second, and you don't lose pulls, and like you always have the experience bonus and all the things that result. So let's go through the build. This is the build. It's all about cooldown reduction, this build, so you gotta make sure you have maximum cooldown reduction on every possible slot, because you want to have 100% uptime in a sanctuary. This is the most important thing when it comes to the build. This is really important. You gotta make sure that you have 100% uptime of inner sanctuary. Okay, so yeah, I'm using inner sanctuary, forbidden palace that reduces damage and incoming damage and increased damage, outgoing damage by your allies. Blinding speed, dashing strike for blinding speed, increased chance to dodge, or way of falling star, whatever, doesn't matter too much. Dodge, I guess it's okay. Soothing light, I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. I'm using Fists of Fury to proc the static charge, the static charges on other monsters to help the monk do more damage, the DPS monk. Yeah. Passives, we have Chant of Resonance to gain a little bit of spirit per second, near death experience because sometimes we do proc, and if we die, chances are that the entire party will die after us because we provide extremely high life regeneration per second. Beacon of Itar because this is a very heavy cooldown reduction based build, and Harmony because that's how you get all resists on your monk. When it comes to when it comes to the items, two main focuses. One, most important, is cooldown reduction because really you want to have 100% uptime of Inner Sanctuary. You really just want to have that. And if I don't have it right now, it's just because I did not proc Gogok of Swiftness. It gives you cooldown reduction. So as you attack, as you make attacks, This will proc Golgok of Swiftness. You have 15% additional cooldown reduction, and then you have 100% uptime of Inner Sanctuary. Second focus on your gear is life regeneration per second. So on every single slot, if possible, you make cooldown reduction first and foremost, and life regeneration, that's like a secondary. That's like the secondary priority. Of course, you must have on every slot life regeneration, because mantra of healing sustenance will give your allies a lot of life regeneration. This is pretty much how it works. You and allies gain a certain amount of life regeneration. The heal amount is increased by 30% of your life per second. So you gotta have extremely high life per second. Right now I got 1,000,003. The one is not showing, but if you hover over it, it shows. See, it doesn't show on the spreadsheet, on the detail sheet, but it does show if you hover over it. So you see, I got 1,000,000 life per second. My allies will receive 60% of that, I think, or something. Um, yeah. My allies will receive the life per second. Yeah, it's increased by health globes and all that stuff, all these modifiers, your life regeneration work here as well to increase your life regen. And allies around me will get around 550, 600%, 1,000, 600, yeah, 600,000, 600k life per second or so. And they'll receive that, of course, per second. So that will give them the sustain to deal damage and do all that stuff in Great Rifts. While the Barbarian provides the ignore pain to be immune to CC and to be um, to get the damage reduction. Ignore pain OP. So when it comes to the items, you want Innas, right? You want to gain the effect of, yeah, this doubles the effect of your mantras, the basic effect of your mantras, increases the effectiveness of your mantras by 100%, and you gain the base effect of all mantras. So you get a little, the dodge, salvation, resistance, all that. Yeah, all the mantras, fun stuff in us, but mostly for the you need that to increase the passive of the Mystic Ally and the passive effect of your mantras by 100%. Mystic Ally extremely important. With these Crutus boots, you'll get two of them. This is pretty basic stuff. You just want a lot of life regeneration. So I'll just go through the items because this is really elementary. Really elementary. This is the build. Um, I'm going to talk about blinding flash, soothing mist, soothing light in a second. This is pretty much the only thing worth mentioning. But yeah, I'll just go through the items so we'll know what we have. I'm still looking for ancient ones to increase my life per second, but really, it doesn't have to be ancient. These pants also could be, but not necessarily. You know, uh, doesn't have to be ancient. This belt is ancient. Basically, on an ancient, you just get a higher range of numbers on your life per second, and also on the rest of your stats. But mostly, the life per second is what matters here. So on an ancient one, you'll get higher level of life per second. See, 4.6 to 5.5k, and on an ancient, it starts from 6k to 7.1. So it's kind of a difference. But like overall, just having a few items that are ancient with life per second, a few items that are not, is it's enough. I mean, if I get an upgrade on my pants, cool, but I'm not going to start spending all my crafting materials or reforging, Inna's pants to get an ancient pair of pants. No big deal. Eventually it will drop. Not too worried about it. It's also Crutus boots. Not too worried about it. What I am worried about is just having a life regen roll and most importantly the cooldown reduction roll on every possible item that I can. On the shoulders, these are perfect. These are like just GG shoulders. I got the ancient life per second and cooldown reduction and vitality and all resist. Just couldn't ask for better. But basically, you want the Borns and you want the Canes to increase your the cane increases your attack speed is nice because it allows you to help the monk more by using Wave 100 Fist more frequently. And yeah, you get the experience bonus. Hellfire Ring. Pretty sure you can craft the Hellfire Ring of Vitality. Oh. Oh no, there isn't. Okay. Yeah, this is the old Hellfire Ring. You don't want that. You just want the new one. Oh wait, you do want that. This is so weird. I guess there's no Hellfire Ring of Vitality. No, that's the level 71. Yeah, that's the one that you want. And you need Vitality. I mean, you don't need Vitality. Just cooldown reduction, socket, life regen is enough. This is kind of, again, perfect one. These are the stats that you want to achieve in the end game, but if you don't have all these items, just make sure that you know that socket and cooldown reduction are the most important ones, and afterwards comes the life regen and the vitality, and even the secondary resist. But you don't have to have those, like they're not a must. You could still do 75s plus, you can still do 74s plus, 73, whatever you're doing, you could still support a party in a high level Greater Rift, even if you don't have the perfect stats on it. Like getting perfect stats is definitely not crucial on a healer monk. Just the guidelines are important, the cooldown reduction, having the life regeneration on the gear, and of course what's most important is to actually have the items that gives you the experience bonus. You need to have the experience bonus, the experience bonus, the experience bonus, because you're doing all these things for XP. So you gotta make sure that the emphasis here is to have the maximum possible experience bonus that you could get. This is why using Leori Crown to double the effectiveness of the ruby. So there you go. Ring of World Grandeur, pretty basic stuff, so I could equip both Born and Canes and everything, in us. Flying Dragon to have a certain chance to double the attack speed so that I'll be able to proc more. Different possibility is Vigilance. Getting hit has a chance to automatically cast Inner Sanctuary. Sometimes you're walking in the dungeon, just monsters are around you, but they're not really that grouped, and you still need to move to your location where you put the Inner Sanctuary on, and then monsters hit you. And Vigilance procs, and you have Inner Sanctuary that inherits the rune of Forbidden Palace. So, and then you can cast another one in your new location. That kind of helps the party, but it really depends on whatever your party members prefer to run. Recently, my party members preferred me to run Flying Dragon. I personally think Vigilance is better, but they want me to run Flying Dragon. I'm just a fluffer. I'm just the fluffer here. I'm just fluffing up people, giving them XP and giving them life regen. That's all your job. Just make sure that people are alive and happy. There you go. Happy, happy little trees. Yeah, recently I've seen the Istvan set. Some people use the Istvan Parrot Blade set. So you use the Slender, the little rogue. I have both of them somewhere. I don't know. There you go. Little rogue, Slender. You want cooldown reduction, attack speed. If you do use them, basically every time you spend primary resource, you gain 6% increased attack speed for 5 seconds. The effect stacks up to 5 times. So with this is going to be a little different, because in order to spend resource, you'll need to have an actual spender. I don't have a spender on my build. Alright? I don't have a spender on my build, so you'll need to change. Basically, I'm using Blinding Flash because, like everything else in this game, you can snapshot Blinding Flash as well. And if you're using a potion, basically Blinding Flash increases your life regeneration by 26.8. That's a huge value. You saw my life per second, right? It's 1 million. When I left click, it's 1.4 million. So my allies will receive like about 100k more, 100 plus k more of life per second. And you can snapshot that by drinking a potion. You have 3 seconds to snapshot that value, and then it goes down, goes back down after 3 seconds, because that's what Blinding Flash does. 3 seconds of increased life regeneration per second. This heal amount is increased by 90% of your life per second. So it's kind of a big deal. It's kind of a big deal. 400k more life per second, just like that. And then you snapshot that with a potion. Sometimes it's a little hard. You need to take damage. It's not so easy, but it's possible. Do that and then spam your potion until the value is snapshot and just kept 1.4 million throughout the entire run, or until you leave a level, or all the rules that apply until you die. Rules that apply to snapshotting works here as well. So you need to do that on every level, and so on and so forth. It has nothing to do with attack speed, right? It's not like snapshotting Stricken. But the potion works here as well, because the game is broken. So yeah, people are using Istvan. All it does is causes more lags. And also people using Cyclone Strike. Cyclone Strike also, this skill causes so much lag. I'm telling you, since I started using Blinding Flash, Barbarians use Ground Stomp to put it all together. It works just fine. You don't need to use Cyclone Strike. This skill just causes so much lag, just makes me cry. And ever since I use Blinding Flash, I also have like insane life regeneration per second with the potion snapshot. It's 400k more. It's huge, and everybody's getting more life per second. They're all alive, and you don't need that pull effect. That pull effect is, well, we thought we needed it, but later down the road we discovered that we don't. So that's pretty much the build. There's really not much to it. If you have any questions about it, I'll be surprised, because to be honest, I don't even know how I've been speaking about this build for about 17 minutes. I don't know, but it kind of like happened. The idea here, you never die. Yeah, you just make sure that people stay alive. I hope you learned everything there is to learn about this build. Oh yeah, yeah. Since I'm not using, yeah, a lot of people used, including myself at the beginning, when I was using Cyclone Strike, I would also use Strong Arm Bracers, and they're here somewhere. See the Strong Arm Bracers with life regen. I would also use those. But now there's no point, because I'm not using Strong Arm Bracers. I got nothing to proc them. Like, I'm not using Cyclone Strike, so I just want maximum toughness on my bracers and as much life regen as I could get. I got the Spirit Guards for more damage reduction, and it works because I'm using this. So I got Spirit Generators. Cool stuff. Star of Askaronth only has life per second and cooldown reduction in socket. No vitality here. Life per hit actually causes lags, so this is not ideal. But yeah, so when you're using a Paragons, make sure to remove area damage, life per hit. Gold Find just doesn't matter. But make sure to only use cooldown reduction, resource cost reduction here, and everything on vitality. Max Spirit, yeah, it's like whatever. I don't need it, to be honest. I just need the movement speed and vitality. I should actually remove it, but it will take a long time to spend, hundreds of stat points. So I'm just gonna leave it be for now. You don't need maximum spirit. And seriously, I've been talking about this build for 20 minutes. It's so basic. I want to kill myself. Let's not do that. I hope you still enjoy the video. If you have any question, I'll be extremely surprised. But feel free to ask them anyways. I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. I hope you have a lot of fun. God bless, my friend. Bye bye.